screen now. David sits around horror films and screams, sci-fi dreams, cooking up some fight in the kitchen light. Knife skills so precise, making spooky rice. David's the killer chef, whipping the terror with zest. Movies and meals collide, horror flavors on the side. Chopping fear with flair, monsters everywhere. Gory scenes so bright, dine and fright. Lights down, it's showtime.
Welcome to the Cutting Room Kitchen, where we cut straight to the gut. In The People Under the Stairs, the Robesons are obsessed with purity and consumption. They trap what they can't control and feed on the fear of others. So for today's dish, we're moving away from the garden and going for something that looks a bit more substantial. A bit more like something you'd find hidden away in the dark corner of a basement. Today we're making a vegan meat pot pie. It's thick, it's heavy, and mimics the texture of traditional beef. Perfect for a movie that's all about what's hidden beneath the surface. The house itself is a character in the movie, a maze of secret passages and booby traps. And it's filmed with these grotesque, almost cannibalistic undertones. The people under the stairs are the grown-up children of the landlords who have been mutilated and kept in the dark for years. It's a truly unsettling concept that got me thinking of comfort food, but with a twist, of course. This movie is a wild ride, a social commentary wrapped in a terrifying home invasion flick. It's got everything: creepy villains, a brave kid, and of course the titular people under the stairs. For those unfamiliar, the film follows a young boy named Poindexter, or Fool, who breaks into a home of his landlord with two other adults hoping to steal a valuable coin collection. What they find instead is a house of horrors run by a truly deranged couple who keep their children locked in the basement and walls. Let's get into the ingredients. For our crust, we're going with a store-bought vegan puff pastry. Easy, delicious, and gives us that beautiful golden top. First, we're cooking our vegan ground meat in the vegan butter until they get a nice dark crust. In the movie, the house is a fortress. Nothing gets in and nothing gets out. We want these meat pieces to be locked in tight. Now we add our onions and garlic, followed by the flour to create a roux. Slowly pour in that broth and a splash of red wine. Here we have Josh. Not that I'm promoting, that's very bold and distinguished. See how that gravy thickens? It should be dark, rich, and slightly mysterious, just like the secrets Poindexter finds behind the wallpaper. Pour that filling into your dish. Now we lay the puff pastry over the top. But here's the Cutting Room Kitchen twist. Instead of the perfect seal, I want you to score the top with small vertical vents, like the slats in the stairs where the children peek through. Brush on our vegan wash to ensure it comes out looking like a golden prize, and into the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for about 25 to 30 minutes, depending upon your oven settings. While our meat browns, let's talk about the man behind the camera. Wes Craven was a true titan of horror. He didn't just make scary movies, he fundamentally changed the genre 3 times over. Before he was a master of horror, Craven was a professor. He earned a master's degree in philosophy and writing and taught humanities at Clarkson University. You can see this intellectual streak in his films, which often deal with blurred lines between dreams, reality, and social commentary. He created 2 massive icons. Craven is responsible for 2 of the most recognizable figures in pop culture history. Freddy Krueger. He wrote and directed the original A Nightmare on Elm Street, drawing inspiration from a series of real-life reports about people dying in their sleep. Ghostface. He directed the Scream franchise, which revitalized the slasher genre in the 90s by adding a meta layer where characters actually knew the rules of horror movies. He discovered Johnny Depp. Craven gave Johnny Depp his very first film role in A Nightmare on Elm Street. Legend has it that Craven's daughter helped pick Depp out of the head shops because she thought he was dreaming, even though he had no prior acting experience. A pioneer of found footage and meta horror. Long before the Blair Witch Project or Deadpool, Craven was breaking the fourth wall. The Last House on the Left. His debut was so gritty it was mistaken for a snuff film in some circles. New Nightmare. He made a film where Freddy Krueger enters the real world to haunt the actors who played the characters in the previous movie. Fun fact, despite his reputation for gore, terror, Friends and colleagues consistently describe Craven as one of the kindest, softest spoken, and most gentle man in Hollywood. Wes Craven passed away on August 30th, 2015 from brain cancer at the age of 76 in his home in Los Angeles. The house is a real location known as the Thomas W. Phillips residence in the West Adams neighborhood of Los Angeles. It has since become a popular spot for horror fans. Coincidentally, the kitchen of the same house is used years later in Rob Zombie's 2007 remake of Halloween. At the time, it was very rare for a major studio horror film to feature a young black child, Brandon Adams as Fool, as the sole lead. Craven had to fight for this, believing that marginalized groups have a deeper, more primal connection to the themes of horror. The Gimp Suit. The scene where Daddy, Everett McGill, hunts Fool through the walls while wearing a full leather gimp suit was improvised in terms of its intensity. McGill reportedly stayed in character on the set, making the child actors genuinely uneasy. The Lost Ending. Craven originally filmed a jump scare ending where Daddy emerges alive one last time, but he cut it because it felt the audience needed a more victorious ending for Fool and the neighborhood. The Sound of Fear. To get the vibe right, we're going to need to talk about the score. The music was composed by Don Pete. Now, Don wasn't just a horror guy. He was a legendary guitarist who played for Ray Charles and was part of the famous Wrecking Crew. He brought this strange rhythmic tension to the film that makes the house feel like it's breathing. It's the same tension we want in our gravy. Thick, dark, and a bit heavy. Wes Craven didn't want to just make a slasher. He actually based the movie on a real-life news story. He read about two parents who kept their children locked away in a house for years. But here's the kicker. Craven originally envisioned this as a much more surreal, almost fairy tale-like story. He was a former humanities professor after all. He used this film to tackle the greed is good mentality of the late 80s, making the landlords a literal personification of a corrupt system eating its own young. Now, if the creepy landlords look familiar to you, there's a reason. Everett McGill and Wendy Robbie, who play Mommy and Daddy, were actually cast because Wes Craven loved their chemistry as husband and wife duo on David Lynch's Twin Peaks. And keep an eye out for a young Ving Rhames. Run, fool! Run, fool! This was 3 years before he became the legendary Marcellus Wallace in Pulp Fiction. You can already see that screen presence, even when he's being chased through a crawl space by a man in a leather gimp suit. On the outside, it's a beautiful golden brown comfort classic. But once you break that seal, you see what's really going on inside. Well, there we have it. It's our vegan meat pot pie. It's rich, it's savory, and honestly, it's a lot more welcoming than anyone living under the Robeson stairs. I'll give the movie an A-. Between Wes Craven's superior direction, the great cinematography, the fact of claustrophobia that you feel when you enter the Robeson's house, outside, it just feels gritty, edgy, and uncomfortable. Once you're trapped in there, you're trapped. It's a great social commentary on poverty versus wealth, and who has it and who doesn't. Not much holding it back, in my opinion. I think it's a true classic. The beef and the red wine create a sophisticated umami taste. The crust is flaky, salty, and golden. It provides the perfect buttery crunch to offset the silky stew underneath. Join us next time on Kutting Room Kitchen, where we take a hike to find the cabin in the woods. And remember, stay out of the basement.
Lights down, it's showtime. Popcorn with a twist of grime. Creepy cocktails here to start. Cuisine and art. Cooking up some fright in the kitchen light. Loving up some fright, making spooky rice. David set the killer chef, whipping up terror with zest. Movies and meals collide. Horror flavors on the side. Chopping fear with flair. Monsters everywhere. Gory scenes so bright. Dine and fright. Lights down, it's showtime. Popcorn with a twist of grime. Creepy cocktails here to start. Cuisine and art. Blending fear and spice. Creatures in the rice. Serving with a scream. A chef's dream. A chef's dream. A chef's dream.
What can I say? This is some good shit here.